What is going on, everybody? My name is Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, after watching WandaVision episode 4 a second time, I was able to pick out some little details. I took some notes here in front of me, so I'm going to go ahead and give my full detailed breakdown and analysis of WandaVision episode 4, titled We Interrupt This Program. I thought this episode was really good. Kind of gave this aspect of what's going on behind the scenes, what they're trying to do to sort of save Wanda, if you will. So I think it was a pretty good episode, and it's a good look forward on what we can expect in the future. If you guys want to see more breakdowns, more analysis videos on these episodes and future episodes of future Marvel series, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Show your support. It means everything to me if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into this breakdown. So starting it off here, the episode opens up with Rambo blipping back into the hospital. It displays like this real frenzy, real chaos of what was going on when the people blipped back. It was sort of this nice look at, the blip wasn't just really calm, really simple. It was something that they came back and it was chaos. Places like hospitals and other medical facilities would have been severely over capacity due to the fact that they have new patients and also have some coming back from the snap. So they have almost double patients, if you will. It's nice to see how the snap and the blip affected like people all around the world in every different situation, like this scene at the hospital. It has such an eerie feeling, and it's almost like a horror or like a thriller type film, which is really cool to see. It plays for like a really nice dynamic for this opening sequence. Another detail that was mentioned, I'm sure you guys, it was very obvious. Her mother died 3 years ago from the filming of this, or not really necessarily the filming, but 3 years ago in the timeline of this, which would have been 2 years after the snap had affected her, which is what the doctor had said. Going on to the next sequence here, we have SWORD, which is the Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. As we pull up here on Monica Rambeau, she's going up to sort of the elevator almost, if you will. And you see on the television there, it says, blip brings back loved ones. That's just nothing really significant there, but it is like a nice little thing that, they are paying attention and putting in detail in these episodes. Next up, we get director Tyler Hayward, who is the acting director. I'm sure when the snap happened, obviously affected a lot of people, affected everybody. So it took away half the people. He was left, and I'm sure there wasn't much left anyway, so he kind of had to step into this role of director. Another thing I wanted to mention was when they were walking, him and Monica were walking down the hallway there. He mentions nanotech, which I thought was kind of funny hearing. Not funny, but I thought it was kind of a cool thing to hear again after knowing that Tony Stark had nanotech armor. And it might be a slight nod at that and what he was able to accomplish. Next up, we get Monica heading to New Jersey, more specifically Westview, which is where she will be trying to locate and start this missing persons case. When she approaches the scene, she arrives at Westview, and on the scene already is 2 Eastview cops, along with Wu, who was sitting there waiting for her. What I thought was a pretty nice nod back to Ant-Man and the Wasp was Wu actually performed a magic trick, a card trick, when he introduced himself as Wu and gave her, I'm assuming his ID or business card or anything, something like that. So I just thought that was a funny little nod back to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, I know this probably is just, I don't know if it's a reach, it might be a reach, but Monica is wearing a blue jacket, which could be a nod to her comic book colors as Captain Marvel back in the comic books. Could be a reach because it is seen that multiple SWORD agents are wearing a blue jacket. But I just thought it was, maybe could be a slight nod given the fact that she was wearing a blue jacket. As the sequence goes on, Wu states, this isn't a missing persons case, this is a missing town. That kind of suggests that Wanda came to this town of Westview and completely hijacked the minds of those living there to make it seem like a more real town for her and Vision to live in. We get a look at the drone that gets sent in. It has the SWORD logo and is the same helicopter that Wanda found in her neighborhood. Also, the color scheme of the drone resembles those of Captain Marvel's colors, which is, I thought that was a pretty interesting note there. As Monica is talking to Wu, she mentions that the town of Westview possibly is not aware or noticeable to other people, more specifically her and Wu, maybe because they don't have a personal connection with the town. It's something that's still not really totally known, but it is something that is very, very interesting to know. Next, we have Monica approaching the barrier, this little energy barrier. It kind of gives off this resemblance of like a almost old TV staticky look. which gives a hint on what's going on the inside, which is, you know, the sitcom, the old sitcom. Next up, we get Darcy back, making her first appearance since Thor: The Dark World. She introduces herself as an astrophysicist. This is a really cool nod because this means that she followed in the footsteps of Jane and Eric Selvig to become an astrophysicist. As Darcy is setting up to sort of investigate what is going on the inside, she notices this static connection coming from the CMBR, and she's able to sort of view it from old television sets, old pieces of tech, and she's able to pick up that broadcast, and she's able to view it with sound and picture, as she mentions. Next up, we get a look at the completed board, and we now know that these are real people that aren't working for SWORD, and we can assume that these people resided in the town of Westview when Wanda perhaps hijacked their town and their minds to play a character for her fake reality. And actually, looking closely at the citizen profiles provided on the board, we can see that they have each character's appearances written out as well as the extra notes. Under Norm's profile, we get a note that says, "Is Wanda controlling a whole town?" This might be a clue as to what she is doing, whether it be all by herself or under the influence of another entity is still in question. It sort of plays on this, you know, idea of her going into this town and hijacking everyone's minds and making them live in this false reality with her to make it seem like a more real world for her and Vision to grow, to live, and to, you know, really live this life that they wanted to live. The next shot, we get Wu trying to get through to Wanda through the radio, but it seems to skip right over it, almost like her pushing it away because she doesn't want anything from the real world to enter and interrupt her fake reality. She doesn't want anything coming in to disrupt her perfect image, her perfect world that she wished she had with Vision, which, if you think about it, is pretty sad, but it's going to be going down a dark path, which I'll get into later. Next up, we get the SWORD agent going through the manhole cover. It almost looks like this hazmat looking suit, and it turns into this beekeeper suit after entering through the barrier. And the line that was attached to him to pull him back turned into an old jump rope. Everything that goes in switches to fit the theme of Wanda's reality, but everything going back out doesn't switch back to what it was before. We don't necessarily know why this is, but as Wu stated earlier, it's sort of, you know, everything goes in, switches its theme to, you know, match, you know, the quote unquote script, match the storyboard, if you will. And but everything going out doesn't necessarily have to match anything anymore, so therefore it doesn't need to switch back to anything. So that could be why, that could be what's going on, but we're not 100% sure. As the beekeeper comes out from the manhole cover, it is very dark and eerie and almost horror movie like, which I think is a hint on where the future of Wanda is going. She is going down a dark path, which will be put on display in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I believe. Once she figures out what's going on and how she can't have this little reality that she's created for herself, she's going to go down a dark path, and she's going to become this villainous character, as we'll get into later. As Wanda is trying to figure out who Monica is, the television skips and rolls the credits, suggesting that she controls what is seen and she controls the ins and outs of this reality. She also hints at this later, which I'll get into when we get there. Another thing I wanted to point out when it comes to this sort of villainous look, as she sends Monica out of her reality, she looks very sinister and almost evil looking, hinting to the fact that she might become this villainous figure in the future of Marvel when she is no longer able to keep this false reality going. We sort of see the beginnings of this sort of villainous sort of movie or, you know, storyline, sort of a character arc sort of coming through. As we know, it is said that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi, which is the director of the old Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire, it is going to be a more horror movie. That was confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. So it is, I think, having these little nuggets here and there, showing how Wanda is going to be this sort of evil person, evil villainous figure. I don't think it'll be for long, but I think she will be this villainous character when it comes to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the next shot we get was really cool. As Vision enters the house, he looks a little different and discolored in the background. As we're getting a closer look, we can see that it is the dead version of Vision, with a hole in his head, grayed out eyes, and is almost pale looking, like a pale red. Obviously the hole coming from Thanos when he pried the stone out of Vision's head. And then the grayed out eyes really gives it this horrifying look, obviously going down this note of this horror-like feel. Those grayed out eyes really give this sort of horror feel, again leading to this fact that this is turning bad. This is turning horrifying. This is going to turn to a very scary reality, not only for Wanda and for everyone around her, but also for us, the viewer. It's going to be very, very dark and eerie. Now, something that could sort of explain why this occurred was maybe she was thinking about the past in that moment and wasn't actively thinking of a lively version of Vision, thus making her see him in his dead state for a moment. She may have been stuck in the past, thinking about who Monica was when she mentioned Ultron, thinking about the past, and when she looked at Vision, it was just the past version of Vision, or the real version of Vision, rather. And so she sort of saw him in his dead state there for a moment. As Vision approaches her, Wanda states she has everything under control, hinting at the fact that she is controlling what is going on inside of this reality, whether it is under the influence of someone else or literally just her, is still yet to be known. I think it could have a slight influence. Maybe Mephisto or maybe Agnes could have some sort of play in this, but I'm not 100% sure. As Monica is thrown out of the barrier, out of this false reality, she says, "It's all Wanda." This could be a hint that this is just straight up Wanda without any influence at all, but then again, we can't really trust Monica's narration, only because she doesn't know exactly what's going on inside of Wanda's head, or if she's being influenced by some other entity, some other worldly entity. So she may say that it's all Wanda, but we can't really trust her as a narrator there, because she doesn't have all of the information that we have, or not even that we have, because we don't even have the information, but she doesn't have the knowledge that maybe Wanda has, or someone that Agnes has, if she is the character that we are suspecting her to be. All right, so there it is, guys. That is everything I was able to catch and sort of break down and analyze after watching it a second time. I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown and analysis video. I plan to be doing a lot more when it comes to WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and other Disney Plus Marvel series going forward. And I can even do some, Star Wars series as they come out. I plan on doing that as well. That's going to be really cool. So if you guys don't want to miss anything like that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like down below. It is very much appreciated. Hopefully you guys enjoy these type of videos. I'm not sure if they'll get like a whole lot of views. I know there's a lot of breakdown channels out there, but I just thought, giving my commentary, giving what I think, kind of how I analyze things, could be very helpful insight to some people watching the series. So I think you guys will enjoy this stuff, and I'll make sure to keep doing it as long as you guys keep enjoying it. So with that being said, if you guys want to see the channel take off, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It'll mean the world to me. It is very much appreciated. So thank you very much, guys. That has been enough from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day.